This is a bonus episode of Agile Digital Business. Here we are in episode 21 of the podcast. My name is Vickie Maris. Here in season 2 of the show, I have been very focused on the topic of the voice platform. How people are using their voices first in search, which is often referred to as voice first, and voice search marketing, or what we need to be doing as business owners or marketers working in companies and organizations to prepare for what's happening in search. It was another podcast that I was listening to that sparked my interest in becoming more informed about the voice platform and what I should be doing as an author and also as a musician to prepare so that my content, my audiobooks. My husband, Scott Greason, is a recording artist and has several CDs. He and I have co-written a number of songs. These are all things that are driving my interest in better understanding how we prepare for the way people are searching for products and services from this point going forward. The old ways of marketing, the old ways of doing business just are not working like they used to, and we need to be making adjustments to meet our customers where they are searching, and how they are searching for our content. So, as a part of this bonus episode, I am going to share with you a stage of the journey of launching my new book. Please stay tuned. This is going to be a brief episode. I want you to have opportunity to be a part of this journey and to learn what I've been learning as I've moved along this path of preparing my second book for its launch. Here we go.
She's an author, instructor, conference speaker, and I write songs and play music with her. Hi, my name's Scott Greason. Let me introduce you to my wife, Vickie Maris, the host of Agile Digital Business podcast.
Changing life after a life-changing event. 30 journal prompts and stories to help after a loss. That is the name of my new journal that I have just recently launched in Amazon. I will also soon have the journal available through another platform called Ingram Spark. My request to you in this episode of the podcast is, would you please be a part of my launch team? I'd like to give a shout out to the people who have already written reviews and posted them in Amazon, which means they have also purchased either the Kindle version or the paperback version. The audiobook is coming soon. I do have most of the narration complete. I'm down to just 2 more pieces of audio content to finish up, and I will have the audiobook ready to upload to ACX. The 2 pieces I need to finish include creating a file that includes the reviews that have been provided so far, and then also creating the file of sample audio. So thank you to everybody who's participated so far in reading the book and writing a review. I really do appreciate that you have shared your heartfelt feelings about your experience reading the book, and also your feedback is very helpful to me as an author. Before I go any further, I'll just read a couple of the reviews for you here so that you can have an idea if the book is something that you would like to order for yourself, if you would like to order it to give to a friend, or if you'd like to help me out by ordering it and being a part of the launch team. Here's the first one. I love this journal. Vickie does a great job of giving readers the tools to deal with in their own personal, unique, life-changing events. The exercises, writing prompts, prayers, and space to write or just be silent are a great way to journey into and through the ache of loss. I only wish Vickie had written this journal 26 years ago after I suffered 2 major losses in 4 days. And here is one other review that has been shared. This is a longer review. I'm going to read just a shorter section of it for you, but you can find the whole review out in Amazon. Just be. 2 simple words I wrote on day 0 when I was given a pre-published copy as a book launch team member. For me, my family has had much hurt and heartbreak in the last year, and you would have thought I would have picked up journaling once more, but no. I have been so consumed with sorrow, hurt, and grief that I have not been able to find the words to release, but I always put pressure on myself to have it all just figured out, to write my story just so. So on day 0, I wrote the words, just be, only to turn the page and find the prayer following my own words included just be. Cue the floodgates and so much more. This journal is written with so much thoughtfulness, kindness, and care, with great reminders that you don't have to have it right. Just ramble if you choose. Feeling lost in thought? No worries. Great prompts and writing exercises to help you be free in thought and just be. There is more to that lovely review. I encourage you to visit Amazon and take a look at the paperback version of Changing Life After a Life-Changing Event. That particular review is there for the paperback. The journal is a combination of short stories and also writing prompts or journal prompts and exercises that you can use in your practice of journaling to address some of the things that might be holding you up in the processing of a loss. I have written this journal in a way that I'm hoping it will be helpful to you if you have recently experienced a loss or if you have dealt with loss long ago in your life. Maybe you have things that continue to resurface now and then that you feel like you just haven't dealt with. I find that the practice of journaling is very healing. Journaling is a part of my daily routine, and I have found it very helpful for everything from keeping projects moving forward that I'm working on in my job for my employer to keeping things like the writing of a book that I'm going to independently publish, keeping it going. I love how journaling also allows me to reflect. When you pour your thoughts out onto the page, or maybe you like to journal electronically and you're looking at a screen as you're reflecting on your thoughts, there are things that are revealed as you look back. You'll see connections that you might not have otherwise seen. At the end of this episode, I'll share one of the short stories that I've narrated for the audiobook version of the journal. That way you can hear what it's about. I also shared a sample back in episode 18 of the podcast, so you may have already heard a bit of the journal if you have been listening to the show for a while. If you are a new listener, welcome. And if you'd like to hear a different section of the journal, please do go back and listen to episode 18. And at the end of that episode, you'll hear, I think it was chapter 20 or day 20 that I included in that particular episode of the show. What I'm asking of you in this particular episode is to help me out by ordering your copy of the journal on Amazon. And then after you've had a chance to go through it, leave an honest rating and review. Your feedback provides social proof for others as they are considering the journal, and it helps them know if it's going to align with what they are looking for in their purchase of a journal. I also would love for you to experience reading it if you personally are going through a loss and if you feel like it might be helpful in your own life. I would love for it to serve you in that way. I currently have the Kindle book version or the ebook version priced at just 99 cents. I have it at that low price to make it easy for the members of my launch team to get a copy and to read through the journal and to be able to do their review without much of a cost up front. The paperback version is also available. The graphic designers that worked with me in creating the book did such a beautiful job with the cover and the overall design of the front and back cover and the spine. It's an 8.5 by 11 book so that it does lay open pretty easily if you do want to get the paperback version, and you can easily write in it that way. The interior page designer also did a fantastic job. I've just been learning to work with people with these areas of expertise. I've worked with graphic artists throughout my career because I've always been in some sort of communications or marketing role. I've also done a lot of online learning experience design, which involves working with people that are strong in graphic design skills. But this was the first time I had worked with somebody whose expertise was book cover design and then also interior page design or layout of a book. I didn't want to take that on myself. I think I still would be working on my first book had I chosen to do that myself. So I'd like to give a shout out to Gwen and Armand and Glenn for their fantastic job working on the book. You'll get to see it when you look it up on Amazon. I would be remiss if I also didn't give a shout out to my editor, Jennifer from Balancing Act Editorial, who has helped me with not only this book, but my first book in the role as editor. For those of you who know me and know that I have served as a reporter, a writer, and an editor in parts of my career, you might say, why did you hire an editor for your book? I highly recommend having somebody else who has editorial skills take a look at your book and make suggestions for changes. Jennifer did a great job of catching some things that I had missed. Like any of us, as we get really close to the work that we are creating, it's very easy to look right past something that needs to be changed. Thank you, Jennifer, for your great work. If you're interested in seeing my other books that are available, I encourage you to follow my author page in Amazon. As I write and publish additional books, they too will appear there in my author page. So you can find that page at amazon.com/author/Vickie Maris. Before I play that sample bit of audio from the new journal, Changing Life After a Life-Changing Event, I do want to remind you to subscribe to this podcast if you are not already subscribed. As a subscriber, your podcast player will give you a notification when a new episode has been uploaded, and that way you won't miss any of the future episodes. I have recently held a conversation with Kane Sims for the show. Kane is the co-host and co-founder of VUX World podcast, and I do not want you to miss the conversation that Kane and I had the other day. He provides some very helpful and interesting advice for those of us who are preparing our businesses for the voice platform and for the ways that our customers are communicating with us and looking for our products and services using their voice. So do subscribe to the show. I don't want you to miss that episode. All right, here is the sample bit of audio from my new journal. Get your favorite pen or pencil ready and join me in the daily habit of journaling. With these exercises, we can practice leaning into the grief that can accompany loss, finding forgiveness and gratefulness, engaging in time talking to others, spending quiet time, developing further as lifelong learners, pursuing a hobby, exercising, and more. Let's get started. Day 15. Be in community. While there may be a period of time that isolation seems the only solution, I encourage you to look for a way to re-engage in your life's activities. Or you could start a new hobby or activity if you would prefer to channel your energy in an entirely new direction. During periods of loss in my life, I have found support in community. From playing music in a band rehearsal with my friends in the band, Scott Greason and Trouble with Monday, to hanging out with a girlfriend during lunch or at the end of the workday. The time spent in the company of supportive friends can be very healing. I have discovered that my personality is best suited to one-on-one conversations with people who know enough about my life that we don't have to dwell on the loss itself. We can talk about other subjects we both know and love. Or in the circumstance where I'm playing music with our band, we go about the business of the rehearsal or the show. It provides moments of normalcy for me in which I can have a break from the grief. Maybe you would enjoy a walk in your neighborhood with a friend or going to see a movie. Or perhaps your personality is more suited to doing something in a larger group activity. Be open to finding a supportive way to be in community, small or large, that best fits your personality in this time of grief. If you don't feel ready to face the outside world yet, then perhaps an in-person or online therapy or coaching session would be beneficial, or you could participate in a group of like-minded individuals. In a quote by Erin Coriel, an end-of-life care advocate and grief worker and contributor to the former HuffPost contributor platform, she describes that while grief is highly personal, there is also benefit to expressing it in the company of others. Quote, "It is almost indescribable the way grief shifts in the moment it is expressed out loud. In that brief encounter, one's grief becomes the world's grief. Although painstaking and lonely, grief is an invisible thread that connects all of our hearts." End quote. Exercise. Practice writing a brief introduction of yourself that you could post in an online community. Even if you don't intend to interact in an online group, the exercise of describing who you are and what dreams you have for the future can be a healing experience. I've left extra space here so that you can revisit this section and write a revision whenever you are sensing that your self-description and future plans have evolved. Pray. Lord, guide me to the place of community that is right for this circumstance, right for this point in my life. Let me know if I need to separate from any groups or communities I have previously been involved in, which might not be the best alignment for this point in my life. I ask for wisdom and discernment in these decisions. Thank you. Amen. And now let's write or simply be silent. Use this space to rewrite the prayer above or to write your own prayer, meditative thought, or affirmation, or to simply spend 5 minutes in silence. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. I appreciate your interest in learning more about this new journal and considering ordering a copy for yourself or for a friend. And if you have time to read it and write a review out in Amazon, that is so very helpful as a part of this launch process. There is also an opportunity coming up if you happen to be in or near Carroll County in Indiana. Scott and I are going to be doing a book reading and music event at the Opera House Gallery of Contemporary Art on December 14th from 3 to 5. It'll be in an open house format, so you can come and go as your schedule allows. We'll be mixing in some reading of the journal, some book signing, some CD signing. Scott will have his new CD, Riverside, there. So if you'd like to get a copy to give to a friend, we'll have some there and we can be signing them for you. He and I will also have our instruments there, and we'll be sharing a little bit of music with anyone who is there enjoying that beautiful gallery. And there are many artists represented there in the gallery, so lots of opportunities to pick up Christmas gifts while you are there. We would love to see you and to say hello in person. If you are in the area and can join us, please stop in. December 14th between 3 and 5 p.m. at the Opera House Gallery of Contemporary Art in Delphi, Indiana. I really do appreciate that you have spent your time with me here in episode 21 of Agile Digital Business. I hope that you will continue with me on this path of creating voice content and voice portals for your customers. It is so important as we head into this next decade. Let's go out and teach, inspire, and connect